I don't know if you can see me. Let me have a quick look. Am I timed? Okay, well, whatever. I don't see any thumbs up or anything. So I may be speaking into the void. I don't know if this thing is working. Doesn't look like it. Ah, one thumbs up. So I'll assume I'm on live. So how is again? It's been a while since I made a video, and I just haven't been in. Well, I had a very bad run of bad luck, for about a month since sort of just before Christmas. The it just was one thing after the other, and it's just like got me so down and been so difficult, and I found myself in a really bad financial hole. Even though I did everything right, it was like everything went wrong. It started. I don't want to like harbour on, but just a quick update because some people are genuinely worried. No, what happened was we had two ferocious storms over on either side of Christmas. We had Storm Dara, which was just before Christmas, that absolutely wrecked my property and caused tremendous amounts of damage, including trees that were uprighted and landed on my place. It was it was a disaster, and I was trapped in my house for weeks and weeks. I couldn't get out of trap my house. I couldn't get out the back door because there was a tree on top of the back door blocking it, one on the roof on one side and one on the roof on the other. All the gutters were knocked off, and I was fully insured. So I was like, yeah, okay, great. But then something happened, a legal dispute with a neighbour, and even though I've nothing to worry about, they had to make my life as difficult as possible, like by them not being insured. So I mean, I don't mind, my insurance paying the third party, which I had, being a responsible person, but it just created tension with a neighbour that I'd gotten quite well with. That was unfortunate because I did feel bad about it, and and even though I was insured, you have to pay an awful lot of money to get things. You don't. The insurance company just doesn't come out and give you a check, and it's still in process. So I haven't got a penny off them, even though I've spent thousands cleaning up the mess on my own. I had to hire a contractor to get the actual machine that took the trees off the roof. That was terrifying because I thought I'd lost half the slates, and so that was, so I've had to, I hopefully I'll get some of the money back or a good bit of it, but I'd lost, you have to still lay out the cash to hire, forestry guys to pull the fucking the shit off. So then that happened. Christmas came along and it wasn't so bad. I said, okay, insurance pay for it. And then right after, then I started feeling unwell, very unwell, and uh, so I just didn't enjoy it. Christmas was just horrible. I just didn't enjoy it. No laughs. And then the day after Stephen's Day, Boxing Day as the English call it, we got hit with an unbelievable. I think it was the day after that. I can't remember. Everything's been a blur, just bad luck. An even more ferocious storm, and my God, it was like I've been in tropical storms, and I've never seen this is Storm Eowyn, and I've never seen anything like this. I've saw like 100-foot leylandii cypress trees bent on their side like that at an angle. I've never seen winds like that in my life, and it caused massive devastation in rural areas of the part of our rest of Ireland and in the Midlands, and uh, it destroyed the power system and the phone system. So I couldn't get phone or power where I lived, and then a medical emergency arose. Now I'm not going to go into details. That's my private life is personal, but it involved walking through the snow with his phone trying to get the emergency number to call an ambulance, which came amazingly in no time. And I will never fault the Irish Medical Service ever again. The hospital was brilliant. It was just so professional. Everything was done great. And it was lovely. And so many people in the hospital knew me, okay? And so it was lovely, and people gave me gifts and everything, and and that was lovely, okay. but it was still a catastrophe because there was no lights in the place. I was in darkness. Imagine being, dealing with that and then absolute darkness because it gets dark at 4 o'clock in winter, and then freezing cold. Now, one thing that was great was that my prepping had really paid off. Oh my God! If you're not prepping, you're a fool. If you're not prepping, you're a fool. I had everything I needed. Like, for instance, like they were all going mad around where I live trying to get batteries and fuel. And I already had that all stocked up. All of it. And so that was, if the medical emergency hadn't arisen during the Christmas holidays in the darkness, in the absolute darkness, that I'm still amazed that no one is dead. Uh, uh, I would have been a gas. I would have flew through the whole problem, no issue. But the storm was so bad it literally wrecked huge swathes of Ireland. And what was weird was it didn't affect the towns. So you could have like Sligo itself, the town, the city. Uh, you wouldn't even know there was a storm. And then you go a few miles out into the countryside, and the place is in bits. There's trees uprooted everywhere. There's huge damage to the buildings and everything. It's the worst storm. So the two storms came, one before and after Christmas. So that my place is in bits, okay? And so, you know, lots of it you can't insure. You have to fix it up yourself. So there's a huge expense in that. Plus, having to deal with the medical thing, and that it just was, oh my God, what else is going to go wrong? And then the drains were, the septic system was destroyed by the storm, were badly damaged. So now I'm digging out ditches, because the ditches, see what happens is the septic tank, the runoff pipe goes into an old farmer's ditch that runs off into the countryside, right? That was now full of trees, so I had to get out the jigsaw, chainsaw, and chop all that down, dig out ditches. So I've been like it's like literally everything. And then this morning I wake up feeling a lot better, and feeling then the power goes again. It's like a third world country, Ireland, at the moment. It's like descended into third world. Okay, so I did everything right. I had all the insurance. I had all the thing prepped. I had everything ready to go. There was the storm of the century hit, and it would have been great except the hand of fate, sickness. So it just goes to show you that you can have all the best plans made, all the best contingency, and then something fucking happens like getting sick, like an illness, okay? So, and a bad one. But that's okay. Everyone survived. We're happy. I'm alive. I'm still, I'm in a massive financial hole at the moment, but that's happens to everybody. And that's another reason why I have to start making videos. So I have to work again to try and bring in some money. I'm back at work again today for the first time. And so if you're watching these videos, watch the ads through. You could be doing me a favor just by doing that. So that's my litany of bullshit. Now I know people out there have things much worse than me, but my God, it's like I never want to go through anything like that again, ever. You know, these things couldn't have happened when the weather was good. It happened in the depths of winter, and it was like really weird, almost psychedelic experiences. The night after the storm, Eowyn, the second one, I went outside and the sky was, because the whole of Sligo, the whole of west of Ireland was in darkness. The power grid had been decimated. And I look up at the stars and there's billions of stars. And then I see these fucking yolks in the sky moving around like this. Like the UAP things. What? What was that about? So anyway, that was just added to the weirdness of it all. There was the strangeness of it all. And honest to God, days felt like weeks and weeks felt like years. The time went so unbelievably slow. And it's just a nightmare. Just a fucking nightmare. So this is where I am now. I'm alive. I'm happy in terms of that I am alive. I'm at the coming. The light is at the end of the tunnel. But it's a long fucking way away. It's still a long way to go. I've been very financially put out by the whole thing, but hopefully I'll get that back through the insurance. I'll get some of, well, at least some of it back, uh, and uh, and this legal dispute will be sorted because I've got legal advice and I'm totally in the clear. Uh, but it's just having to do with the bullshit of it, the dirty looks and that kind of thing. And I've done nothing wrong. I've been a totally responsible person. And you see, it's true. You see the true colours in people. They come out when they think they can get a few quid off you. But and I felt bad about what happened, and I still feel bad about it. But I didn't pick up those trees and drop them on someone else's property. And the trees were healthy. It wasn't like I'd neglected them or they were dead trees. They were perfectly healthy trees. In fact, I'd cut down ones that were actually a bit dodgy during the summer. During the summer. So anyway, you live life, you have these experiences, you go through things. So that's where I've been. That's where I've been. Now, it hasn't been that bad as it sounds the whole time. It's just that I didn't have the heart to come on here and make videos. I just didn't. It's like I pick up the phone some days and I go, I'll make a video. And then, like, as soon as I pick the phone up, I was like, I just couldn't talk. I just couldn't do anything. And I just haven't been myself. I've just been gotten very kind of reclusive. And, you know, I mean, I've had friends who tried to shake me out and everything, but they took me out and stuff. And that was great. It's lovely. But it's just that I'm fed up. I'm really, really fed up. And I know there's people out there that have way worse than I do. But, it's true what they say. It doesn't come in ones and twos. It comes in hundreds and thousands of the bad luck. So, and I'm in darkness again, like, just, fucking hell. And I'm just glad the spring is here, finally. This is a winter I will live to forget. And in between it, there's been, it's funny enough, the only thing, and I haven't done nothing. I've done nothing. Literally get up, repair what had to be repaired, and then go to bed, exhausted. That's literally been my life now for 6 weeks. And I'm just burnt out. That's one of the reasons I wasn't making videos. But it makes you value your life and your health in other ways and things like that. And I was able to do things. And then I always say to myself, well, it couldn't have been worse if this had happened during it. It didn't happen then, it happened later. So you go through all these things in your head. So you try to feel thankful. I always try to feel thankful that the worst didn't happen all at the same time. It came fucking close though. It fucking close. But that's why I haven't been around. And also fed up. Just fed up with the world and everything. Now, when I say the world, just fed up with the shit. Just like, this kind of thing. Just, and it's like you literally, you see your bank account going. Even though you have insurance, you have to pay for all these things to get them done before you see your bank account going like that. It's just fucking depressing. But here we are. I mean, so I can still make videos and I can still do things and stuff like that. So I got the chainsaw out the other day, and I chopped up a load of wood, and that was the first time I felt actually good when I say good, like contented. That wasn't like fed up since like 6 or 7 weeks, maybe 2 months more. And just because it was productive, I'm cutting firewood for the next winter, you know. But I did that last winter, and we had a fucking medical emergency, But anyway, you still have to do it. It still made me feel better, and so that was that, So, but in between all that, while this is all going on, the world has been a very interesting place. So, I mean, I watched the inaugural. I mean, it seems like 100 years ago now, but it was right in the middle of the shit that I was able to. It was actually the lights went out afterwards. I think I can't remember. Yeah, they went out afterwards. Yeah, it was because they had to get the ambulance in the darkness. So yeah, I watched it. The lights literally went out after Trump was inaugurated, which was a very interesting inauguration and fascinating to watch. And it feels like 100 years ago now, and because it was very Roman, very kind of like classical times. The way it was all done, it was almost like religious. I was very impressed with the inauguration and how it was done and the style in which it was done. It was like a throwback to a sort of a more sort of like, like the way like when Obama got elected, it was like a rock concert. That's all. That's all the sheeple cared about. The meat. All they cared about was who was playing live at the concert. The Trump one wasn't like that at all. It was like it was very powerful in the fact that it was like so. It felt so classical and ancient. So that went on, and then I've been watching the Trump stuff carefully because you think the Trump derangement syndrome is going to wear away. They're actually worse now because they've added Elon Musk derangement syndrome. But what's really interesting is here in Ireland, and maybe that was what the whole period over Christmas was about. Maybe it was kind of like the gods saying to Ireland, time for a change. Although I was trying to help you, but uh, the Irish establishment have gone absolutely bonkers. They've gone. They literally. They actually don't believe that Trump is president. They don't. They psychologically they haven't grasped it. They can't grasp it, and they're really frightened and terrified that Elon Musk has made friends here in Ireland, what they call the far right, meaning normal people, and they're terrified. There's even articles in Irish papers saying things like, "Well, MAGA will come to Ireland. Hold fast, we'll be safe. We stick together." This is literally what's in the Irish Times, articles like that, and it's fucking brilliant. And it was one of the few things that kept me going. I mean, the chainsaw in my hand, going like, what's his name with his boomstick from The Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell. And I was like, yeah, fuckers, you're getting a taste of your own. It's amazing to see the ones who cancel cultured everyone else getting cancel cultured themselves now. But isn't that natural law? Isn't that how natural law works? But so yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, that's been fascinating to watch right up until yesterday with the Zelensky thing that went down in the White Oval Office. That was really interesting, and that was something else. That was something else. And of course, there's always two ways to read. The Irish media is full of things like, "Oh, Trump treated that man with disrespect," But I mean, if you want to be conspiratorial about it, here's my conspiracy: the deep state wants to kill as many Slavs as possible, and they've wanted the Slavic world at war non-stop since the fall of Yugoslavia. Why? Because the only ethnic group left in Europe, and possibly the Magyars, who could stand up to jihad are the Slavs. The Slavs would be the only manly culture left that would stand up to jihad. And I think Trump knows that. And I think the main reason he wants to keep that war get that war over, is because we're losing Slavs. And Slavs are important. The last hope that Europe has is the Slavic people. I really do. Like the West is gone. The Irishmen are, they're all like progressive, metrosexuals now, cowards. They're all cowards. This country is filled with nothing but cowards, and the ones that aren't cowards, a lot of them are dying of the COVID vax. And it's the same in Britain, and it's the same all over. Look, the election result in Germany. German young women were the ones who got the globalists back in power. Then these are the ones who will suffer the most from this mass immigration of fighting age males from different cultures, radically different. And here they are all proud of themselves. I mean, Jesus Christ, the insanity is off the scale. Literally all we have is the Slavic people. So what's the best way to deal with the Slavic people? Get them all to butcher each other. Get them to fight, and try to spread it to Poland, and try and spread it to other Slavic nations. And that's what they're up to. And I think Trump knows that. And that's a look, Europe was saved by the Polish hussars, winged hussars at the gates of Vienna from the Ottomans, and the total and utter takeover of Europe by the Muslims. We need them again, and they know that that the Slavic people will come to to the rescue. So what's the best way? Kill them all off now, because they'll never be able. You'll never look. You just have to look at how the Polish are more conservative than ever. They're more Polish than ever. They never get them or the Ukrainians or the Russians to ever come around to accepting, trannies for Gaza, like we get, like the mental cases in this country have all believed, think is real. Uh, so the best way to do that is kill as many Slavs, particularly fighting age men, the ones who could rescue Europe. So and that's why the EU are today basically putting a press release saying we will support Ukraine no matter what. The EU want to kill as many Slavic people as possible. They really do. And they would love to spread that war into Poland and all the other Slavic nations. I know it. I know it, just so they'd reduce their numbers. And because they would be the only hope left for Europe for the Slavs. Only hope left. And so I think Trump knows that. And that's what Trump's frustration in the Oval Office was that yesterday. I want peace. I don't really care. I want peace. And that's why he also wants the minerals and stuff like that, because he wants to rebuild Ukraine rather than keep it fight. It makes you really wonder who this guy Zelensky is and the people behind him, who they're really working for. Like, is it Soros that's there, pulling all the strings, or someone like that? But it's looking increasingly like the EU. It's looking increasingly like the EU wanted that war with Russia so it could kill as many Slavs as possible. That's what I think. And, see the EU Commission all over their press releases yesterday. We will support Ukraine no matter. Stay strong, stay brave. Well, they're like living in their like mansions in Brussels, It's sickening. And yeah, I think that's what that's about. It's the same reason why the doctors and engineers are not COVID vaxxed. It's not only it's a genocide of the European people, and there was interviews of people and I'm not like one of these types that really goes too deep into that, but like I'm starting to see very clearly now that the European Union only wants, you know, I even see it in small things in Ireland here. Like the people say, oh, the public transport systems in Europe are falling apart. Well, that's because they know in 20 years it'll be like India and Pakistan with fellas on the roof of the trains. So you don't have to invest. They know that these people will sit on the roof of a bus for 3 hours. So why should we invest in keep repairing our public transport systems? This is literally what they have planned. The plan is to make Europe a third world country with an incredibly wealthy, elite, despotic, aristocratic, sort of Prussian, Franco-Anglo kind of aristocratic lords, just like it was in the Middle Ages. That's what they want. And the rest would be just like, their servants. And always remember that ultimately that's the real power. The real evil is the ones at the top. Ultimately that's the real evil. I mean, you can train Arab Muslims to behave themselves. You can. Dubai does it, and Israel does it. There's nearly 2 million Arab Muslims living in Israel. No, it's not 1.5 million Arab Muslims as citizens in Israel. They behave themselves. You can train them. It's just that they don't want to train them. They want them running feral, and that's why they turn their blind. Like things like in a normal time, what happened at the Bataclan would have not only been considered a declaration of war, but it would have led to the arrest of Angela Merkel, who caused it. They want more stuff like that. They want that. They want more like that. They hate us. They absolutely hate us to the core of our beings. And so anyway, the Irish gimp in chief, Micheál Martin, is going to the White House with his bowl of fucking stupid shamrock. Basically, the whole thing is one agenda: begging Trump not to impose massive tariffs on Ireland. The massive Intel plant in County Kildare, which is a mile long, the whole plant is a mile long, has just been opened, and Intel might not be using it. They might not be using the place because of Trump's tariffs. Imagine that they spent billions building this massive plant in Ireland, and because of Trump's tariffs, it's on hold. So that's how dangerous it is to this country. So you would think with all that, that the Irish government gimps would have some intelligence and common sense. They say we better start being nice to all the people we pissed off quickly. And that would include, now, the country of Palestine now officially never existed. It's now been, the West Bank has been officially renamed as Judea and Samaria, which is always should have been called that. And so it doesn't. They're never going to be a Palestine. It's gone. It's history. It's gone. It's been wiped out of the face of the earth. Quite rightly too. You vote for animals like Hamas, who display the bodies of a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old and their mother, who they strangled to death and then chopped their bodies up. You don't, and the crowds of thousands of cheering Palestinians. You don't deserve anything after that except elimination. And so they're being, not, it's all being discontinued, and so it should be. It should have been discontinued way back to '67. But here we are now, and so like that's why Trump is. It's human. These people this is what you're up against, and yet here's Europe defending these people. Here are the so-called European intellectuals defending this stuff. So that Hamas embassy in Dublin should be immediately closed. Before I got onto the plane to Washington, I would say to the Hamas embassy, which how can it be an embassy if a country doesn't exist? Pack your bags and get out. It should have been done after the displaying of the bodies of those two little kids and their mother to an adoring crowd of screaming Palestinians. It should have been immediately. That's what happened to Trump. He immediately said, "No, it's over now. No more negotiations. It's done, and you're over. You cease to exist." And that's right. That's what should happen to a culture that does something like that. So. So there you go, So the world is tremendously interesting at the moment, but I think we're also in a dangerous place. I was just reading this morning. I follow a lot of defense websites that usually deal with things like arms sales and stuff. You know enough of them. Apparently, the entire U.S. bomber command is now on full mobilization. Literally, that means that the bomber pilots are not allowed to go on holiday or take leave at the moment. Now, why their bombers are on full alert, I don't know. I'm trying to think what they could be bombing. Obviously, Trump has indicated he's not going to have any trouble with Russia. I don't know. So, last night I was saying to myself, perhaps Zelensky will, when he gets back, there'll be a coup against him or something. But now he's looked stronger than ever because the EU and everyone else, all the other lefties, are all like, "We will stand by you no matter what." It's just unbelievable. It's just, and the only reason they want that, and I think he knows, is they want as many Slavs dead as possible. They want as many Slavs dead as possible, because they're the only hope to free Europe from jihad, and they want the European Caliphate, and they want to run Europe like the. This is why the Bush family were so enamored with the House of Saud. They saw how they ran Saudi Arabia, absolute wealth, while the country with most of the population were slaves, and that's what they want. They want don't be surprised at like royal families in Europe and stuff starting to convert to Islam. Don't be surprised if that happens. And yeah, there's some sick fuckers out there. It's a sick world in many ways, and. You do your best to be positive. You do your best to do the right things, but shit happens and things go down and happen. So I want to say thanks to everyone who was worried about me. The amount I couldn't. I'm sorry I didn't reply to the messages. I just wasn't in the mood, and I got so many. But here, I love you all. Thanks so much for all the messages of goodwill, and so on, and all the people that came up to me in Sligo University Hospital and said hello. Thanks again. That was beautiful, and. Yeah, here we are. So, everyone has shit in their life. I'm going through shit in mine, but I'll dig my way out of it somehow. If you want to help me out, let the ads play through, and that kind of thing. And, thanks for being still here. It means a lot to me. And putting up with my, misery. I'm sure I'll be back to my old self eventually. But, so here we are. We got through COVID, and we'll get through this. Sanguine Gnosis, love yous all. Take care. And thanks again for caring, because it means a lot.